Ryan, from what we read here, there are two stories in Vienna today, Iran and Iraq.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the Iranian story is a simple one. The Iranian oil minister is here, and as always, the international oil executives, everybody from Exxon to Shell to BP, have been here as well to meet with the Iranian oil minister because they want to get in when the sanctions go away. What's different about the previous meetings is we're learning, they don't want to get in for the sake of getting in. They want to get in with a good deal. And what I've kind of learned is it's not necessarily going to happen. They want like what they call production sharing agreements, and the Iranians are saying that's a no-go. So there's a little bit of a battle ahead of us when it comes to Iran, not just in terms of getting rid of the sanctions, but also finding a good deal for the oil companies.
Wait, help me understand, what's a production sharing agreement?
So, the way a production sharing agreement works is an oil company comes in and they get to cover their costs with the money they make from the production, and then they share that with the country. Now, that's really good because it's an insurance policy for the oil company, right? But countries don't necessarily love it. The Russians hated it in the 90s. So most often what you get is what the Iraqis have, which is called a service contract. And they basically just pay the oil companies a certain number of dollars per barrel to drill oil that belongs to the country. The oil companies are saying that's not good enough for Iran because it's just too risky.
Traditionally in these meetings in Vienna, what happens is that somebody says something in the room and then everybody looks to Saudi Arabia and says, well, what do you think? Is that still the dynamic? Is Saudi Arabia still ultimately the decider?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I was talking about this with a friend a short while ago. This is really still a club of Gulf countries calling the shots, or more specifically, it's really Saudi Arabia calling the shots. The biggest producer, the most influential, and they're the ones that dictated policy at the last meeting and are expected to dictate policy at this meeting, which is why there's probably not going to be a change because they're happy with the way things are.
Ryan, every time you're in Vienna, it's like one big hall of Versailles. You're always in, Ryan, some fancy hotel with a fancy chandelier. What's the backstory this time around?
Oh, of course
I want to know the backstory of OPEC at these meetings.
Look, the backstory is everybody's pumping like there's no tomorrow, Tom. The Saudis are pumping. Last month they pumped more than they've ever pumped on record. The Iraqis, we keep hearing about Islamic State and the horrific pictures there, but the Iraqis are pumping like there's no tomorrow, and they're going to up their production. Right. And then pretty soon, if the sanctions go away, the Iranians will join in the party.
Let me ask you the money question. Does anybody there, all the fancy people there, do they agree with Ed Morse that oil could break under the old $40 price?
If they believe that, they're not publicly talking about it. No, they think the price is going to go up. They like the demand picture. They say the global economy is improving. And a lot of them think, the dollar is going to weaken, and that should be good for oil prices as well.
Ryan Chilcote in Vienna at the OPEC meeting. Thank you.